Okay, good evening everyone. Jyoti, Abhishek, Saikat, Deepti, good evening to all of you. Okay, we was doing a discussion, means we have started the discussion on balance of payment, BOP, and under that I told you it is basically divided into two parts. One is current account and other one is capital account. It basically shows trade and commerce as well as one way transfers. One way transfers with outside of India. Whereas capital account shows what? Capital account shows transfer of ownership, right? Outside the India, inside the India. That is under the capital account. Accordingly, I told you uh, how this thing work. The different components of the capital account, different components of current account. I have explained all these things to you. And then I told you कि we are going to have a discussion on exchange rate system, right? Exchange rate system, I told you कि, earlier in the beginning, all over the world it was gold exchange rate system. From this gold exchange rate system we jumped, or we went for Bretton Woods system. Under the Bretton Woods system, dollar was fixed with the gold. Dollar was fixed with the gold. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay. So, sorry for this disturbance. So, any questions? Okay. Seated. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Good evening to all of you. Okay. Your lecture is ocean in picture. I didn't get that. Please let me know. Sir, please reply on Telegram. Okay, Vikalp. I will reply after the class. I will reply after the class. कार्तिक कुमार क्या हुआ कुछ नहीं हुआ भाई थोड़ा सा अर्जेंट कॉल था सो आई वाज अटेंडिंग दैट कॉल नाउ आई एम बैक सो लेट्स हैव अ further discussion. So, in 1970s, we have opted for the Bretton Woods. 1945, we have opted for the Bretton Woods system. Under the Bretton Woods system, dollar and gold was fixed. Here, I just want to let you know one more thing. Uh, till then, till then, 1975. Till then, 1975, rupee was basically traded with pound. Right now, for example, we are using dollar as a main source of exchange, right? So our foreign currency reserve is basically comprised in terms of dollar. Till then, 1975, we was using British pound sterling for the purpose of exchange, right? It means that the rupee's value was fixed with respect to what? Pound. Rupee's value was fixed with the pound. It was an arrangement. It was an arrangement between India and Britain, since the British was ruling India. So that's why they have made this arrangement. Rupee was fixed against the British pound, right? In 1947, when we got independence, we have a choice. Either we can continue with the pound or we can take any other currency, right? So taking any other currency as a base is going to make lot of changes, right? Lot of changes, and basically the value of pound with respect to all other currencies were stable, right? So that is why India have continued with the British pound. India has continued with the British pound. Even when the Bretton Woods system failed, even then the dollar and pound, the value of dollar with respect to pound was fixed. I told you about this thing in the Smithsonian agreement. Smithsonian agreement. Under this agreement, the value of British pound was fixed with the rupee. So that is why for this phase nothing happened. But finally in 1975, when the Smithsonian agreement was also went down and the dollar and pound was freely exchanged in the market under the market force, then India shifted from what? Then India shifted from pound to dollar, because it was a global dominance of the dollar, and for India it is almost inevitable to skip or to avoid that dominance. So that is why India also went from pound to dollar. So since 1975, we are using dollar as a main source of our currency, foreign currency reserve. Before that, it was British pound. Okay. So is this clear? Seated express is mean Gagar mein Sagar. Acha, okay. Thank you. Swati Kumar is asking, sir, your lectures are very good. What is your name? My name is Rahul Tiwari. Vishwas Arya, good evening. Everyone, good evening. So, by 1975, India has opted uh, dollar as a currency reserve source. right? And in the last lecture, I have explained all things related to what, when the currencies, right? When the value of Indian rupee, when the value of Indian rupee is going to increase or decrease. For that, I took the case of dollar, right? So I took the case of dollar and I explained to you how the value of dollar is going to increase or decrease. Similarly, when the rupee's value is going to increase or decrease. Anyone who didn't understand that thing, just keep it very simple in the very simple term. If you want to know how the exchange rate value is determined between rupee and dollar, it is basically based on demand and supply of rupee, demand and supply of dollar, right? That means what? If the demand of dollar is going to increase, right? Demand of dollar is going to increase, whereas the rest of the variables are constant. Only demand of dollar is going to increase, rest of the things are constant. Then in that case, what will happen? The value of dollar is going to increase, right? So in what case the value of dollar is going to increase? When its demand increases or supply decreases. Rupee demand decreases, rupee demand decreases, supply increases. Bhavna, it was fixed between fixation was done between dollar and pound. Dollar and pound was fixed, right? So that's why India thought that if the pound is already fixed with the dollar, if the pound is already fixed with the dollar, there is no need to switch, right? Because dollar and pound is fixed. So that is why in the Smithsonian Agreement, India didn't went for the dollar immediately, because the value of dollar and pound was fixed. But when the Smithsonian Agreement also fall, then India switched to the dollar reserve. Sir, I'm getting a lot of doubt in PIB news. Some doubts are related to current affairs. When should I ask? Okay, current affairs doubt. Okay. Okay, ping me on Telegram. I will try. I will try. Means I will try to find actually some queries and questions are coming, but because of time, I was not able to do. But please send it to me. Whosoever have sent the message to me, please don't worry. I will definitely reply. Just busy in this NABARD related interview and other work, but I will reply. I will reply. Don't worry. You can also send me your query. So one thing you just try to please understand here. There is a statement: value of rupee is decreasing. There is one statement: value of rupee is decreasing. For example, $1 is equal to 80 rupees. $1 is equal to 80 rupees, and somebody is saying that the rupees value is decreased. So it is now 80.50 rupee. Earlier dollar was 80 rupees, now it is 80.50. Now one reason may be because of dollar. Because of dollar, maybe the demand of dollar is increased or supply is decreased, right? Or maybe the demand of rupee, the demand of rupee is decreased, or supply of rupee is increased. So when we give this price, $1 is equal to 80, but now it is 80.50. If you will see the foreign currency market, they will let you know, they will mention that because of excessive demand of US dollar in the international currency market, rupee depreciated. Listen this statement very carefully. In the first statement, they are saying that because of excessive demand of US dollar, rupee become weaker. So the reason for weakness of the rupee is excessive demand of the dollar, right? Or the other statement, rupee felt 0.50 paise because of decreased supply of the dollar in the international currency market. So here the value of rupee is decreasing not because of any change in its value or any change its demand and supply. Here the value is decreasing because of what? Because of dollar. However, sometimes there is no change in the demand and supply of dollar. The currency's value is decreasing because supply and demand related issue in your currency. For example, the best thing, if you will see $1 and $1 dinar, especially Kuwaiti dinar. Kuwaiti dinar, I'll check what is the exchange rate. I'll let you know what is the exact exchange rate. One dinar, 251.4. $1 is somewhere around 78, but one Kuwaiti dinar is equal to 250 rupees. Is equal to 250 rupees. So sometimes students get confused why Kuwaiti dinar is so much costly, whereas dollar is of 78 rupees. Dollar is of 78 rupees, whereas the dinar is of 250 rupees. So the point is, sometimes what happen, for example, there is fruit, apple, avocado. So if you will try to find the price of apple, it is somewhere from 100 to 200 kg, right? Whereas if you will go for avocado, it will be somewhere around 500 to 600 rupees per kg, right? So why avocado is so costly in comparison to apple, right? So the point is, if you will see the demand and supply, and if you will see the demand and supply of apple, demand and supply of apple, demand and supply of avocado, right? So just for your better understanding, if you will put, this is the demand of what? This is the demand of apple, and this is the supply of apple. This is the supply of apple. Whereas the demand of avocado in the Indian market is like this, and supply is this. So the difference between demand and supply is greater. Here the demand and supply difference is less, but volume of trade is high. Volume of trade is high. Here volume of trade in rupee and dinar is very low, right? So see what happened. If I told you the value of the currency is going to be dependent on what? Demand and supply, right? Demand and supply is going to be affected with respect to the volume, right? With respect to the volume. So here what is happening? Kuwait, means the country Kuwait, they do not expose their currency. They do not use their currency at very large level. Most of their transactions are happening in the US dollar. So they artificially kept the value of their currency very high so that they can take the advantage, right? So that they can take the advantage of that thing. So you can say that ki, sir, if they are doing the manipulations, why you are not poking him, why you are not saying that ki it is injustice and all. I explained in the last class what, till then you are the powerful, or you are with the powerful, whatever you are doing that is right, right? So some countries do the manipulation, still they are doing the manipulations, and they have not make their currency free flow. They have restricted their currency. India in 1991 allowed free movement of the import and export, right? Means the restrictions of import and export were lifted, and the free flow of foreign currency and free flow of Indian rupee was allowed, right, for the trade and commerce. But still there are some countries like Gulf countries and other countries. And why especially Gulf countries? Because Gulf countries, they do not have any other commodity apart from Iraq ka pani. Means sometimes on the vehicles it is written there in the fuel tank, it is a Iraq ka pani, right? So it's like what, they only have one thing. So if they are going to open their currency market, they are going to be exposed kind of fluctuation. So that is why for their protection they do not allow the free movement of their currency. So if you are not allowing the free movement of their currency, right, and you are doing too much manipulation, and with that manipulation you are able to maintain high value of exchange rate with respect to other currency, right? Now the question arises ki why other country is not saying anything? Because every country need a source of energy, right? Source of energy. And this is why some countries exchange rate value is very high, but other countries exchange rate value is little bit low. So first of all, demand and supply plus manipulation, these are the things which define the value of your currency. Okay, any questions? Any questions in this regard? So there is no need to feel that that currency is very powerful. Kuwaiti dinar is very powerful because its exchange rate value is much higher than any other currency. It is not like that. The power of the currency, how powerful your currency is, it is going to be depicted with the trade volume. At what level your currency is being in the circulation all over the world. So that is going to show the strength of your currency, not because of the exchange rate, because exchange rate can be manipulated. You just see that, you just saw that what is happening. They artificially make the supply of their dinar at very low level, and that is why with respect to the Indian rupee, its value is very high, right? So exchange rate value is not an indicator to show the strength of the currency. The strength of the currency is being indicated with how much and to what volume your currency is going to be used at the international level for the transactions, right? So in the recent years, the value or the volume of trade is largely based on clear dominance of US dollar. Clear dominance of US dollar at international level for the trade volume. However, in last 20 years, China has significantly increased the volume of trade in their currency, yuan also. Right. So yuan is a rising currency, and if they are going to rise in the same manner in next 20 years, right, so maybe they are able to challenge the hegemony or single kind of dominance of dollar which is at present. However, they need still another 15 to 20 years to challenge the dollar's dominance. right? They still need 20 years, minimum 20 years. But yes, the way they are rising, they will be in the position to challenge the hegemony of US dollar used for the purpose of trade and commerce at international level. Okay, now, so in the last class, I explained you these terms: nominal and real exchange rate. And on the basis of that, I also explained you spot and forward exchange, right? Forward exchange. And on the basis of that, I told you what? Hedging. What is hedging? Hedging is a process through which we try to minimize the risk of fluctuation in the trade and commerce because of the rise or fall of the value of the currency. This is what I have explained in the last class, right? One few more terms are associated with this thing. One is bid and ask rate. Bid and ask rate. So what is bid rate? Bid rate, it is a rate on which bank is ready to buy. Similarly, what is ask rate? Ask rate is, it is a rate on which bank is ready to sell. Foreign currency. So here sometimes students get confused, and confusion is because if you will closely see, $1 is equal to 78 rupees, suppose 40 paisa. Bid rate, $1 is equal to 78 rupees 58 paisa sell rate. So this is one price. Listen very carefully here. There is one price on which people are interested to purchase foreign currency. And for the same currency, there is another rate where the people are ready to sell. So one, suppose that we are talking about India. So in India, for dollar, there is one bid rate and another is ask rate. Similarly, in USA, for Indian rupee, there will be also what? Bid rate and ask rate. So students do ask me, sir, why there are the two rates? At one rate people are ready to purchase, and why on the other rate they are ready to sell, right? So suppose that you purchased something, you are going to purchase the dollar, right? So question arises, why we want to purchase the dollar? So maybe one reason, I just want to have $100 in my pocket. I love to have dollar. I have a kind of wish or will or whatever. So this is one reason. But that is not the reason for the purpose of trade and commerce. You just want to have that thing in your wallet or at in your study room, और किसी बाबा जी ने बोला है कि have a green color currency in your purse and you will be on rise. So maybe that reason, but that is not the reason for the trade and commerce, right? Another reason why you want to purchase the dollar, you want to purchase the dollar because you are planning to visit United States of America, because you are an RBI official, and being as an RBI official, there is one meeting is going to be held in US Federal Reserve, and that's why government of India is sponsoring your visit there. But however, in between you are going to get some time and you want to go for some local shopping and all. For that purpose, you want to purchase certain US dollar. So for the tourist purpose, you are purchasing. So one is what irrational reasons why people purchase the foreign currency. One is the tourism purpose. Third and most important purpose is what? For the purpose of selling and purchasing. So you are a dealer or you are a trader in India and you want to purchase few things, and for that you need a dollar. So that's why you are purchasing the dollar, right? Another reason. So there are the three reasons basically, right? So according to those reasons, you are going to purchase the dollar. Similarly, some Americans are interested to purchase the Indian rupee, right? So dollar is available in Indian market. Some people are selling these dollars here, and some people are also selling in the United States of America. So either you can purchase, if you are going to visit USA, you can purchase some dollar here and some dollar there, or you can purchase all the dollar here, or you can purchase all the dollar there, right? So there are the brokers, established brokers, and they do this selling and purchasing activity, right? So definitely, if I am a broker and I want to sell that currency and make the profits, so if I am going to purchase that currency at the price of what, if I am going to purchase this currency at this price, so definitely I am not going to offer the same price. If you will come and you will ask me ki I want to purchase, so if I have purchased that currency at 78 rupees 90 paise, $1 I have purchased, I'm a broker and I have purchased on this price, so definitely this is the price on which I have purchased this thing. I'm not going to offer the same price to you. I'm definitely going to offer higher price, somewhere around, for example, it is going to be 79 rupees 20 paise 30 paise. So this is why what happened, consider this thing as a word, and at different countries, different currency markets are there. So at some place it is 78 rupees 80 paise, some place it is 78 rupees 70 paise, at some place maybe it is 78 rupees 50 paise, at some place it is 78 rupees 60 paise. So there is slight variation in the value of currency. So that is why you will find one price which is known as a selling price, one price is known as a selling price, and one is a purchasing price. So on what price I am purchasing and what price I am selling. So you can see that there is a lot of scope to make profits. If you know what is going to happen after 7 days, suppose that some with your good predictions, you found that ki Russia is going to invade what? Russia is going to invade Ukraine, and after this invasion, Europe and America is going to put lot of sanctions on Russian currency. If you already know that, you can make huge amount of money. It is similarly like stock market, right? If you know that the company is going to what, see what is happening with the Paytm, right? What is happening with the Paytm? News came, the Paytm CEO got arrested. भाई उसके शेयर गिर गए. The price of the share fell down. But why he was arrested? He was not arrested because of any fraud related to this banking and all. he got arrested because his vehicle has pushed some person, other person's vehicle. So that is why he got arrested, right? But the value of their shares went down. However, when RBI said that you cannot add more customers on your payment bank, then their share fell down. If you know this news even before it is coming into the market, in 2 days in advance, you know that RBI is going to do that thing, and you got this information 2 days in advance that RBI is going to push the ban on him. So what you can do, if you are a holder of what? If you are a holder of Paytm shares, you will immediately sell it, because after 2 days its value is going to decrease, right? So sell it so that you can at least save some price. So there is always a chances of speculation. Okay, what is going to happen in the value of currency, because it is based on demand and supply, right? Demand and supply. So that is why there is proper foreign exchange market. And who participate in this foreign exchange market? Central banks, brokers, and companies who need foreign currencies, right? So sometimes students ask, sir, if banks are also doing this activity, then why there is a need of brokers, right? If bank is doing this thing, actually bank do not do this thing on its own, the exchange of the currencies. Bank do this thing with the brokers. So banks are also involved in the foreign exchange business, but they are doing those foreign exchange business along with the brokers. So question arises, why they do not do this thing on their own? You know that banks are of different size, right? So one bank have a large appetite to absorb too much foreign currency. That means he can go for more aggressive and hawkish kind of sale and purchase. So it is going to destabilize entire price finding mechanism. So that is why in the world generally banks do this business through the official brokers. For example, Western Union money transfer. Western Union money transfer. So there are lot of what? There are lot of organizations working as a brokers, right? And with them the foreign exchange market works. So came to across the term cash ready transaction. What is the difference between cash ready transaction and spot transaction? Cash ready is the same day transaction and spot takes T plus 2. Yes. Arbitrage trading I will explain. Arbitrage trading I will explain. See, you got this thing or not? You understood this thing or not about the foreign exchange market? Vikul, from where you got this thing RBI audit? Okay. Now you know that what happens. There is a selling rate and there is a purchasing rate. Selling rate is known as what? It is known as ask rate, and purchasing rate is known as bid rate. selling rate and bid rate, right? Sorry, selling rate, that is ask rate, and bidding rate is the purchasing rate. Fine. So those who are doing business of foreign currency exchange, those who are involved in the business. When I said that they are involved in the business of foreign currency exchange, that means they are not those people who are doing the import and export activity. These are those people who want to make money by selling and purchasing of the foreign currency, right? Again, there are some people who are doing this work of selling and purchasing, the trading of foreign currency, and their objective is what? Their objective is to make money by selling and purchasing of the foreign currencies. Fine. Whereas there are some people who are involved in import and export activity, and they do need currency. There are the people who are going to visit foreign country, and that is why they need currencies, right? There are some people who deposited their money in USA in their NRE, NRO or FCNR account, right? So NRE, NRO account, you have deposited that money. That money is going to be converted into the Indian currency. So bank need that thing. Bank need that foreign currency. Suppose that in USA you are there and you have deposited $1,000 in your NRE account, right? So now they are going to convert that $1,000 into the Indian rupees. So for that purpose, they need a kind of broking activity. Sometimes what happen, there are the established broker like Western Union, right? However, there are some instances where bank do not do directly, but through their sister agency, they do this thing, right? They are in contract with other agencies and they do this thing. So banks indirectly also involved in this selling and purchasing activity, not directly, because RBI is not going to allow directly. RBI will ask, okay, you can do the trading, but the trading should not be the purpose of making profits, right? You can do that thing, but not for the purpose of profit making. You can do this thing for the requirement purpose, right? But banks are also involved to sell and purchase, and they involve with the brokers, right? So now what happened, either you are selling or you are purchasing, but when you find an opportunity, for example, the value of rupee and dollar, right? You found that ki Japan, India, USA, you found that okay, i will purchase I will purchase dollar here, where? In India. And if I will sell that dollar in Japan against the yen, right? So some margin can be made. For example, 1 rupee is equal to 78 rupees 50 paisa. This is what? This is bid rate in India. This is the bid rate in India, right? Bid rate in India means what? If you want to purchase, you can purchase $1 by paying 78 rupees 50 paise. Whereas in the Japanese market, you found that if you are here, so you did what? First, you have purchased it. You have purchased how much? $100. For $100, you have paid 7850 rupees and you purchase this $100, right? And if you will sell this $100 here, you are able to make somewhere around 8,500 rupees if you will sell here. So you did this calculation and you found that if I will purchase here and I will sell in other market, I can make some more money, right? So you are doing both activities simultaneously. In Indian market, you are what? Purchasing the dollar, and the same dollar you are selling in the Japanese market, right? So this process is known as when you are doing selling and purchasing both. Arbitrage. This process is known as arbitrage. So this is known as arbitrage and arbitrage trading. Sometimes you are doing in 2-3 countries simultaneously. So through arbitrage, there the profit making can be done. So this is why the foreign currency traders, they are looking all over the market, in what market what is the price of what currency. On the basis of that algorithms, they will purchase that currency in one market and they will sell that currency in the other market. For example, in the very simplest term, you found that at a particular place the price of apple is 100 rupees, whereas at other place, which is just 10 kilometer away from that place, the price of apple is 150 rupees, right? So at one place the price is 100 rupees, and just 10 kilometer away the price is 150 rupees for the same kind quality of apple. So what you did, you started purchasing from that market where it is 100 rupees per kg, and you started selling in that market at 150 rupees kg. So you are doing selling and purchasing simultaneously. So you are doing the selling and purchasing simultaneously, and you are making 50 rupees. Out of that transportation cost, somewhere around it will be like, suppose that 10 rupees per kg. So you are making profit of 40 rupees per kg, right? So in this way, we call this activity as a arbitrage in the international currency exchange market. Arbitrage will apply only when we do both simultaneously. Okay, yes, you have to do both simultaneously, only then it will be called as what? Arbitrage. And you can see that there is a profit can be made, right? So sometimes what will happen? Sometimes to make more profit. So I have given you the example of what? At place A, the price of apple, suppose that, is 100 rupees, and at place B the price of apple is 150 rupees. Fine. So you are able, what you are doing, this person, what he is doing, this person is purchasing from here and he is selling here, so that he can make the profit of 50 rupees, right? So all of sudden he got more greed for making the profit. So what he did, he started purchasing from here. But artificially here he is saying that ki apples are not available, right? There is a low supply, and that's why we are increasing the price at 175 rupees per kg, right? So artificially you are decreasing the supply of apple. Similarly, in the international market, there is a possibility from one market you can purchase, and artificially you can create a scarcity in the other market, in for the purpose of what? For the purpose of making extra profit. So this was happening at the international level. So one of the great French economists, James Tobin, he said that all this foreign currency exchange market must be taxed. It must be taxed. So whatever the profit you are making through arbitrage, whatever the profit you are going to make through arbitrage, it must be taxed. So if it must be taxed, then whatever the unnecessary profit you are making, that can be avoided. So in order to check the exchange rate, and exchange rate related what? Exchange rate related volatility. Because you can see that through arbitrage people can make a huge profit, and to make a huge profit they artificially are going to create a scarcity, or they are going to increase the supply. So for that purpose, James Tobin has suggested that in the arbitrage, whatever the profit is going to be made by the person by selling and purchasing of the foreign currencies, that amount must be taxed, right? That amount must be taxed. so that we can decrease the volatility in the foreign currency exchange market. So this is why James Tobin became famous, and it is known as Tobin tax. Tobin tax. Clear? Tobin tax is clear? Okay. Now, one more thing I just want to explain you. So TCS is an Indian firm, and they want to invest in USA. Whereas GE is a US company, they want to invest in India. So obviously, if you are going to invest in India, right, and they want to invest in USA. To invest in USA, seeking loan of for $4 million, $4 million or $40 million, they want to invest in USA. Just for your better understanding, I am taking the same thing for the GE. They also invest $40 million in India. So both are interested to make an investment of $40 million in each other country, right? So what is the currency of USA? That is dollar. And GE want to invest in India. So India rupee, USA dollar. So US company want to invest here. US company want to invest here, right? So just considering $40 million and having this equation, $1 is equal to 80 rupees, right? 80 rupees. So that means that $40 million is equal to how much? 3,200 million rupees. So 3,200 million rupees GE want to invest in India. At the same time, $40 million TCS want to invest in USA. Right. So when GE want to invest and USA means TCS want to invest. So both companies are interested to invest. But for the investment purpose, TCS is looking for loan. Similarly, GE is also looking for loan. So they are not going to use their capital. They want to borrow from market, and that borrowing they want to utilize. That borrowing you want to utilize. And they found each other ki okay, you are going to invest same amount, where you are going to invest same $40 million in USA, And USA's company is going to invest $40 million in what? In India. GE need rupee and TCS need what? TCS need dollar. TCS is an Indian company. So in India, they can raise the loan in rupee. If TCS is going to raise this loan, they will raise this loan in rupee and then they will convert in dollar. Similarly, GE in their country, they will raise the loan in dollar and then they will convert in rupee. Right? They will convert in the rupee. But here there is a problem. When you will go for the conversion, you are going to be exposed for exchange rate brokerage, number one, and exchange rate fluctuation. Plus, if GE is going to borrow in India with Indian rupee, so you are a foreign company and you are going to borrow in India, maybe interest rates are little bit higher side. Similarly, when TCS is going to borrow that money in dollar in USA, they may have to pay more interest rate in comparison to GE. So that is why there is an issue. So finally, TCS and GE, they decided to do this. What they decided, TCS is going to give them 3200 million rupee loan in India. So TCS will arrange 3200 million rupee in India for GE and GE will arrange 40 million dollar loan for TCS in their country. Right. So when you are going to swap, what you did a swap. How the swap is being done? Swap is being done ki now it is audible and visible. Is it audio videos okay right now? Okay, so what I was saying that there was a situation. In the situation, two companies are there. One is TCS and another is GE. GE want to invest in India. For that, they need rupee. Similarly, TCS want to invest in USA, and for that they need a dollar. And approximately both requirement are same, $40 million, $40 million, right? So GE said that if I am going to India and I will borrow in India, maybe I have to pay more interest rate in comparison to TCS. Why? The TCS is an Indian company and better facility, loan facility at low interest rate is maybe available to the TCS in comparison to GE. Same thing for GE in USA because it's a local company of the USA. More better facilities are going to be available for GE in the USA. So both countries has decided ki okay, you scratch my back, I will scratch your back. Means I am going to allow you or I am going to facilitate $40 million loan for you in the USA. This is what GE said to TCS. Similarly, TCS said that okay, fine, if you are doing this thing, and so for you, I am also going to raise a loan of 32 million rupees in India for you. So you are going to save some interest rates, you are going to save some amount of brokerage which you maybe have to pay. So this is called swap, right? This is called loan swap or interest rate swap. So in that way we do the swapping, right? But for swapping you must go and have a proper agreement on the paper, only then this swapping will happen. But our focus here is to understand what is swapping, right? So this is the loan swap, interest rate swap, principal amount swap. So sometimes companies do agree only the interest rate swap, so it is called an interest rate swap. If the principal amount is swap, then we will call it the principal amount swap. And if the term is used swap, right, loan swap, that means principal and interest amount both are swapped. And please, this thing should be in your mind, keep this thing in your mind. It is TCS which is going to raise the loan for GE on the paper. So on the paper it is going to be mentioned who is raising the loan. TCS is raising the loan, but for whom? GE. Similarly, on the paper it is going to be mentioned GE is raising the loan for the purpose of whom? For the purpose of TCS. So in case of any default, in case of default, then the liability is going to who is raising the loan on whose behalf. So who is raising the loan? GE is raising the loan. So GE is going to be liable in USA. Similarly, in India, if TCS is going to raise the loan, so TCS is going to be responsible. Fine. So they are little bit complex agreement, but they work. And in that way, this swap will happen. But sir, when TCS will receive these 40 million, they can also have to convert into the Indian rupee in India. So then also TCS will face the same issue. No, why TCS will raise this $40 million in India? TCS is not going to raise this $40 million in India. They are going to raise in USA through the help of GE. Similarly, GE is not going to raise this rupee loan in India. That loan is going to be facilitated by whom? TCS. So TCS is going to borrow for GE in India, and for TCS, GE is going to borrow in the USA. Do they have to give it in the form of loan? Can't they exchange in the spot? $40 million, see, you are going to do the investments, right? So investments are not just like that can happen on the spot. You have to create a manufacturing facility, right? Do you think that GE, which is manufacturing the engines and electronic parts, is it possible to do in the spot exchange? No, investment will come over the time. So spot is not possible here, na? Because spot is kind of the thing. Okay, it's done. It's a one-day activity. But the investments are not a single day activity, right? So investment takes some time. So it is not possible to the spots kind of the thing. When you are thinking about what? Investments. If it is just selling and purchasing, then a spot is useful. Only then a spot is useful. But a spot is not useful for the purpose of long-term investment. You are planning to invest $40 million, a huge amount. Right? It's a huge amount. And for that you need at least 4 to 5 years to repay the amount. Okay. See, in such kind of case कि अगर पैसा डूब गया, right? For that, if we are thinking, so there is a all kind of the riders. Rider means what? If in case of default, who will pay and how they will pay, what are the bank guarantees? So all these things will be mentioned in that agreement. In the case of default, who will pay and how they will pay, there is an agreement. Generally, ultimately, who is raising the loan? Ultimately, it's TCS which is raising the loan in USA with the help of GE. So definitely GE is going to ask TCS ki because of you I am going to take the risk, so at least you have to put something in case of the default so that I can repay the loan of bank on your behalf by selling those assets. Similarly, in the same way, the same thing is going to tell by the TCS to who? GE. Because of you, I am going to take a risk with the Indian banks. So put something as a guarantee, as a bank guarantee, so that in case of any default, we can sell those assets and we can repay the loans. Okay. If I am saying that, okay, this happens recently. I'll tell you what happened recently. One of my friend, he want to invest in and start a coaching institute. Right. Actually, he already have small coaching institute, and he is saying that ki my business. He is doing the business in a small town right now, and he is saying that ki my business is flourishing, and I want to invest more money. So can you help? I said, see, I can help as a friend, but I cannot help as an investor, right? And being as a friend, I have certain limitation, and under that limitation, I'm ready to help you, right? But if you need a big amount, right? Need a big amount, I can't help you. So he told me that ki, yaar, you are in this industry since last 8 to 10 years. You know many people. I said, yes, I know many people. But the point is, what I can do, I can just give you the context of those people. You should directly talk to them, right? And you will be the liable person for your business transactions. I'm not going to take a guarantee of you, because if I am going to take the guarantee, I will be the responsible in case of any assets loss for that person who is going to invest, right? But still he is insisting, no, 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 please do something. So I said, okay, I will do something, but if you are seeking a loan of 50 lakh rupees from the investor is ready to invest 50 lakh rupees. But in case if you are going to default, he said, अरे नहीं नहीं default होगा ही नहीं. मैं कहा, just listen, if in case of default, how you are going to pay? So he said that ki I will sell my property. So I said, okay, give me the property paper, I will hold it. Give me the property paper, I will hold it. In case of any default, I will give the property paper to him and he can recover his money. यार तुम्हें भरोसा नहीं है? मैंने कहा, I have a trust on you. That's why I'm arranging 50 lakh rupees for you. You do not have a trust on me. That's why you are not able, right? Means you are not going to give your property paper to me. And I am taking an oath कि I am holding this paper for just for the as a bank guarantee kind of the thing. I will write on the paper. In the court agreement, I can write it कि I'm not going to use this paper for any other purpose. This paper is going to be used for only on the basis of what? On the basis of bank guarantee to repay the amount of that person. He backtracked. He backtracked immediately, and he is telling to all the friend circle कि यार he is a money minded person. So fine, if you think that I'm a money minded person, I'm not going to get anything. I'm not going to anything. But why I will take the risk on your behalf? I'm not an idiot person, right? So I'm not going to take a risk on the. पैसा किसी का नहीं होता यार, किसी का नहीं होता है, ठीक है? जिसके पास होता है उसी का होता है. Money is not having any ownership, right? If it is in your pocket, that is your money, and once it will become out of your pocket, then it is others' money. So friendship and money cannot go side by side. Friendship we can help, but we cannot invest through the friendship. So have this thing very clear in your mind, because you are aspiring for the banking job. Maybe some people will come around you in the future and they will seek your help. That is not an help, right? Genuine help will come from the heart, and it is not something like that you are expecting, and you are expecting 1 lakh rupees help, and he just given 10,000 rupees to you. So you are disappointed. No need to be disappointed. At least he has given you 10,000 rupees, right? So that matters. Amount doesn't matter. Help, he is helping, that matters. So these are the two things, right? So whenever this business transactions happens, like TCS and G are not friend, right? TCS and G are not friend. So whatever they are going to do this transaction, they are going to do on the paper with the proper bank guarantees. Ultimately, GE has to convert their funds into in INR to invest in India and TCS into, so they are exchanging their task. Hence itself. Very good. Yes, it is a swap. So this is currency swap. Yes, this is the currency swap. Maintain a balance, but dil and dil. Okay. So I hope this currency swap is clear. This is typical currency swap. Now, one more type of the currency swap, and that is, for example, recently Bangladesh and India facilitated currency swap for Sri Lanka, right? So, how Bangladesh and India, they are giving currency swap option to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is going to borrow, suppose that 100 million from India, but they have to repay in INR, right? So they can repay this money to whom? They can repay this money to Indian rupees. So basically, Indian rupee is going to swap the loan of Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka is going to borrow the loan from Indian Central Bank of $100 million. So India will give $100 million to Sri Lanka. Indian Central Bank, that is RBI, is going to give $100 million to the Sri Lankan Central Bank. With that money, Sri Lanka, whatever their essential import needs, they can fulfill it, right? And at the time of repayment, they can repay in what? They can repay in rupee. Now, why? Because sometimes what happen, for example, right now Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka, what is happening? Dollar and Sri Lankan rupee, SL rupee. So what is SL rupee? That is Sri Lankan rupee. So the exchange rate is extreme. Highly volatile, right? Highly volatile. There is a huge volatility in the exchange rate between US dollar or Sri Lankan rupee, right? So it's something like that ki $1 right now, just giving a situation, $1 is right now, suppose 150 Sri Lankan rupee, right? 150 Sri Lankan rupee, whereas $1 is equal to 80 Indian rupee, whereas 1 Indian rupee is equal to, suppose, 15 Sri Lankan rupee, right? So if Sri Lanka is going to expose their currency, if Sri Lanka is going to expose their currency in order to have $100 million and their repayments, it is going to be the great difficulty for Sri Lanka. In order to help Sri Lanka, Indian government through RBI, they have said that ki, okay, you can borrow from us. We will give you the $100 million loan and you can return that $100 million with respect to this amount, Indian rupee terms. Right. So when Sri Lanka have to repay this $100 million back to RBI, at that point of time, this exchange rate will not work. This exchange rate will work when they are going to repay. Right. So in this way, it is going to work between the central banks. Vishaka, is this class started daily at 8:30? Please reply. I'm new here. Vishaka, generally it start at 8, but sometimes because I am little bit busy in other work, so sometime I do change in the timing. So the timing always available, whatever the lecture timing. If there is a change in the lecture timing, generally it's at 8 p.m. And if there is any change, for example, last 2 days class was held at 8:30. Last class was held at 8:30. Today it's at night 9 p.m. So if there will be any change, we do intimate in the Telegram group. You can check it there. What is the timing of the class? No, not change daily. Generally, it is 8 p.m. Right? But sometimes, yes, there is a change. I try to avoid to change the timing, but sometimes these things are beyond my control. Okay, so whatever the timing, it will be available you at least 1 or 2 hours in advance in the Telegram group. So I hope you got understanding of the swap. According to first equation, 1 INR is equal to 1.81 rupee. No, don't go by the equations. Don't go by the equations. I just want to let you know that equations will be done so that Sri Lanka will be what? Sri Lanka will be benefited. Don't go by the equations, right? Equations may be wrong. Just try to understand the concept. The entire objective of this swap is what? Entire objective of this swap is to help the Sri Lanka so that Sri Lanka can get easy and cheap dollar as a loan, and they can repay in the Indian rupee, because Sri Lanka and India do the trade and commerce at very large level, right? And a lot of trade and commerce is happening in between India and Sri Lanka. So don't go by the equations. If maybe there is some discrepancy in the equation, just try to focus on the objective. Objective is what? To provide the cheap credit to Sri Lanka so that Sri Lanka can come out of their recent crisis. Okay. So Pakistan is also suffering right now. So suppose that government of India is going to extend $1 billion credit line to whom? Pakistan ki. Okay. For just this thing, we are extending some helping hand, and that is quite possible because see, if Pakistan is whatever the unnecessary they are exaggerating that thing, if they roll it back, then there is no other issues, right? Apart from the boundary, there is no other issue. So Pakistan have to understand it is in the great benefit of the both countries if they are going to cooperate, right? And they are with the country like India, so they can be benefited like other countries are getting benefited, right? Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Bhutan, all these countries are getting benefited. So if there is any issue in the Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or even in Maldives, India is bound to help, right? India is bound to help because it's a great interest of India to make the regional countries dependent only on the India rather than going for China and other countries. So India want to maintain this thing, but chapter wise MCQ. Chapter wise MCQ. Okay, I will try for it. Chapter wise MCQ. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, Shubham. Now, all basic things related to this exchange rate we understood. Now, export and import policy. First of all, why we do need this policy? Why? Why we do need such kind of the policy? Because this happen on what requirement basis. But why we do need policy? We do need policy in order. I mean, why do we do need policy in general? We need a policy in general so that whatever the work we are doing, we can do it in the more efficient manner, number one, and we can achieve our certain goals and objectives through that policy. So, this is why we have a kind of foreign policy, monetary policy, fiscal policy, and import and export policy, right? So, in India, we do set medium term exit policy. When we say medium term, it is 5 year. So for every 5 year, we set our goals of export and import, right? We set the goals of export and import. And under this policy, we set certain priorities. These are the sectors to be more focused, and here government is going to announce few things. So in that way, the policy is around announced within certain goals also. This is our goal to achieve this amount of export, right? This amount of export. For example, we want to achieve $500 billion export, right? So $500 billion export. So in that way we set our policy. But before going to discuss this policy, there is always a kind of considering this is what, this is angel and this is evil. Right? So angel and evil. So if export we are going to do, then definitely we are going to get benefited. Foreign currency will come to your country. At the same time, if you are going to do what? If you are going to do the imports, if you are going to do the imports, foreign currency will go outside your country. This is a general perception among the students or even in the common person, right? But please try to understand, if your trade volume is going to increase, then both will increase. So when trade volume is going to increase, both will increase. Both will increase means export and import. Once our manufacturing capacity is going to increase, right? For the purpose of manufacturing, we need raw material, we need certain expertise, we need certain capital. So maybe that capital is coming from other country, right? Fine, that is an investment. But for raw material, right? So all the raw material is not available in your country, right? For example, you want to make a electric car in India. So for electric car, the batteries need what? Lithium. So lithium is not a kind of thing which is available in India, right? So in lithium, you cannot be Atmanirbhar, right? You cannot be Atmanirbhar because that is not a natural resource available in your country, right? So what Atmanirbharta means, right? The perception of Atmanirbharta and the import, right? You need not to necessarily understand both things in one go, right? Getting an Atmanirbharta is a different thing, and restricting the import is a kind of different thing. I will explain you here properly, right? So because you can see that each and every time government is going for what? Atmanirbhar, they are saying that restricting imports. Actually, it is unnecessary import. So what we are importing right now, it is comprised of two kind of the goods: necessary and essential. Not necessary. Not necessary. For example, military hardwares, right? Military hardwares. So, for example, recently news is coming. Indian Navy is going to suffer because of Ukraine and Russian war. Why Indian Navy is going to suffer? Because Indian Navy use lot of whatever the military hardware in terms of ships, frigate, and destroyers we do have in our navy. Most of these vessels of Indian Navy, destroyers and frigate, they are using Ukrainian engine. Right, the engine is coming from the Ukraine, and in the recent Russian strike, those companies' manufacturing facility destroyed. So if Indian Navy is going to request कि we need another engine, right, for the engine replacement, Ukraine is not able to provide. Why? Because their factory is destroyed. So we are dependent. We are dependent, right? So this shows your dependency. Since last many years you are trying to develop the engine, but you are not able to develop the engine, and you are exposed for such kind of the imports, right? Whereas crude oil. So crude oil is a kind of essential import. You cannot bring it down, right? How you can try to bring it down? By adopting the renewable sources, right? You can try to bring down, but you cannot make a kind of suppression. Suppression ki no, this forcefully we are trying to decrease the crude oil import. You can have a policy for that in the longer run ki we will try to decrease our dependency. Whereas when we talk about what unnecessary imports, there are the certain things which, if we can work, we can manufacture in our country only, right? So rather than giving this opportunity to Ukraine, ki you can build and transfer to us. No, you can come in our country, you can manufacture here, and then you can sell to us. So this is the kind of what Atmanirbharta, what government is talking about, right? So rather than you are manufacturing in your country, you can come to my country, make a manufacturing available here with the Indian partners, and do the manufacturing. We will purchase it. So you will be benefited. That's for sure. But because of this issue, your factory is destroyed. Now we are lacking in the critical operational preparedness, right? Indian Navy. So this is what we will try to restrict our imports. We will target imports should be controlled, right? But at the same time, if suppose that engine is going to manufacture in India, all the parts of engine cannot be manufactured in India. Maybe you need to still import few parts, or even if you are manufacturing all the parts of engine in your country, raw material do you need? There is a need of raw material, right? So all the raw material is not going to be available, so import will be still there, but you can try to restrict all those unnecessary imports, right? So do not always feel that every import is what kind of evil thing. Some imports are essential in order to go for export and fulfill your requirements. If if people of your country if people of your country is going to what if people of your country is going to be rich, then definitely they will purchase certain items from other country, right? Certain items for other country, they will go for the tourist activity in the other countries. So definitely that country is going to be benefited, right? It is benefited. And if that country is going to be benefited, they may be going to purchase more goods from India also. So it is a theory of comparative advantage. I will purchase few things from you so that you will be benefited. And with that benefits, you are also able to purchase few things from my country so that I will be benefited. Right. So this is what happened at international trade. Sir, one request, please conduct the CA session pending for last week and please conduct the Zoom session you promised. सारे प्रॉमिस याद दिला दो अभी हैं. ये क्या बना के भेजा है? So when in the foreign trade policy, it is said that we are trying to extend our imports but curb our imports. So when they say that curb the imports, it doesn't mean that we want to uniformly cut all the imports. We are going to focus on those imports which are actually unnecessary and undesirable. We can manufacture the same thing in our country. So those imports are being under the target of our country's this export and import policy, right? And as I told you, we take the medium term target. So last foreign policy, sorry, this export import policy was of 2020, 15 to 20. And in 2020 COVID came. So after that it is not possible, and government of India has extended this foreign policy for another 6 months, then another 6 months. Finally government of India has promised through Mummy Kasam, and they said that on 1st April 2022 we will unveil new foreign, so again foreign, new export import policy from 2022 to 2027. For this phase, on the 1st of April, Government of India is going to come with new trade policy, foreign trade policy, in short, FTP, foreign trade policy for 2022 to 2027. Though they are making this announcement since last 1.5 year. They said that on 1st April 2021, then said that no, 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 no. 1st September 2021. Now finally they are saying that Mummy Kasam 1st April 2022 we are going to come up with the new FTP, foreign trade policy. So let's see, today is 15th of March. We have to wait for another 15 to 16 days. Maybe Government of India will come with the new foreign trade policy. And another Sardar will be there, because some people are going to, sir, give me the summary, give this some kind of the thing. Not you people, especially civil services people, they will ask for the summary. So we have to do the analysis and all, right? So if something is important in the foreign trade policy, which is upcoming, if there will be something important, I will share with you also. Sir, we need a strategy on daily basis to cover the syllabus, CA reports and schemes simultaneously. Yes, yes. Import. Yes, Vishwas. I will think about it tonight. आज रात में क्या है कि आई एम गोइंग टू जस्ट इन दिस रूम आई एम गोइंग टू डू द ध्यान एक्टिविटी लाइक दिस, and I will try to miss, not sarcastically I'm saying, but seriously I will think about this today. Okay. No, I'm not saying this sarcastically. I'm just saying that okay, I will discuss this thing. Means I will think about that कि how I can do it. यार सही बताऊं, मुझे इस वे में पढ़ाने में मजा ही नहीं आता है. मैं टेलिंग यू वेरी ऑनेस्टली. सो वट एवर आई एम डूइंग, वट इज इसेंशियल, आई एम अ काइंड ऑफ द पर्सन. जो पीछे बोर्ड लगा हुआ है ना, वो आई एम दैट काइंड ऑफ द गाय हु लव टू व्हाट फ्लो उसी पे आता है. एंड व्हेन द स्टूडेंट्स आर इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी, राइट नाउ, इस कैमरे को ही मैंने क्या मान लिया है आपको मान लिया है कि यू आर हियर, राइट. बट ओके, जूम सेशन कर लिया जाए. आई थिंक इट इज गोइंग टू गिव मी द पुश so that I can interact with you directly, face to face interaction. Newspaper reading session 2. Zoom session. अच्छा ठीक है, फॉर जूम सेशन आई विल अनाउंस टुमारो मॉर्निंग डेफिनेटली. जूम सेशन को प्रायोरिटी पे कर लेते हैं, जूम सेशन कर लेते हैं. Thank you. Zoom session I'm going to do probably tomorrow. I will not commit right now because I don't know tomorrow's schedule, but I will do it. अभी मैंने बोल दिया तो आई एम डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू डू इट टुमारो डे आफ्टर टुमारो विद इन 2 days आई एम गोइंग टू कंडक्ट will all will be included. Okay, 21 people right now in the live chat. Okay. Acha, do one thing. Just a request. All those who are in the live session right now, all of you who are in the live session right now, just right now type this and send it to directly to me. Directly send it to me on the Telegram. Right now. Do it right now. All of you who are in this live session and they are in the Telegram group, just ping me there right now. Right? Directly. फोटो तो लगा रखी है मैंने एकदम वो मैन इन ब्लैक बन के right. So just ping me there and drop a message, and I will conduct the session tomorrow. Just one more time. This time I will do it. अच्छा आ गया 1 2 3 4 5. Divyanshu Shukla, sir, for GDP, do we need to study reports by the private organization like GS, JP Morgan? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For GDP data, GOI, RBI, World Bank, IMF, World Bank, only these are important. No other is important. Only these are more than sufficient. Sir, I am not on Telegram. You are not on Telegram. Means you have not joined the Telegram group for the paid student. For the paid student, there is a Telegram group you can join directly from the app. OECD data is not very relevant for India, and India do not give the importance for the OECD data, especially for the GDP calculations, because India is not part of that, right? OECD data, other things like they are important, like their report on the tax for understanding of the global issues and other things, that is important, but their data is not very relevant because India is not part of the OECD. Got many messages. So, those who have not dropped a message, please, what is the name of Telegram group? See, there is no name, something like that. You should go to what? You should go. This is for the paid students, not for all students. This is for the paid student. And if you are a paid student, you can go to the what in your app, and from app there is a link you can join. See, this is the classic mistake you people do because last year they asked OECD, so you have started also studying the OECD, right? So this is the number of questions, and you can maximum reach here, right? You can reach maximum here. So your target should be to cover this amount of the questions, right? Your target should be to cover this amount of the questions, because some of the questions, this kind of the questions, you are never going to able to do these things, right? So they are always going to create a problem for you. Even if you will try to cover these questions, next time they will create another circle here. They will create another circle here, and then it is going to create a problem for you, right? They will create another circle like this, means some new data. So every time the data is being given or some kind of the thing is being given, why? Because they just want to make you keep guessing, right? So don't try to cover each and everything. If you are covering around 70-80% and you are doing the proper revision of those 70-80% part, then definitely it is going to help you, right? If you are trying to chase it everything, right, then it is going to be what? Difficult. For example, right now this NABARD interview is going on, and most of the candidate, they told me that, what they told me that ki, sir, I'm also preparing for the RBI Grade B. So my question to all of them is, why you himself telling me? If I will ask you, are you preparing for the RBI Grade B? Then you have to tell, right? Otherwise, there is no need to tell in the NABARD interview, because when you will tell, I am also preparing for the RBI Grade B, automatically they will ask this question. Ki, okay, if you will get selected in the RBI Grade B, then you will leave this organization. Then you have to answer this question. So there is no need. But some people say that ki, okay, if you will not tell, what do you think? They are fool. They automatically know that if you are preparing for the NABARD, they are also preparing for the RB. Fine, I'm not saying ki you are fool, but if you are considering yourself fool, it is not my mistake. It's not my mistake if you are considering yourself a fool. I'm not trying to make you fool. I'm just saying that ki I am preparing for this NABARD exam, right? If they are going to ask me, ki, are you also preparing for the RBI Grade B? I will say yes, I am preparing for the RBI Grade B. Only then I will say. Initially, I'm not going to say that ki I'm also preparing for the RBI Grade B. Why I will introduce myself ki I'm also preparing for the RBI Grade B. If they are going to ask me, only then I will answer. So honesty is a one thing, right? And smartness is another thing. If you are not telling the truth, it doesn't mean that you are telling a lie. Maybe it is not required to speak a truth at that point of time. So in the interview, you can see, you can drive your interview. You can manipulate them. Only those questions they are going to ask which you have prepared. There is a way. So you can drive your entire interview. या तो आप इंटरव्यू दे रहे होते हो या तो वो आपका इंटरव्यू ले रहे होते हैं. So there is a way to give your interview. Right? So similarly in the study also, you have to make it sure that I'm not going to chase each and everything. I am going to be focused only in this thing, and 70 to 80% I'm going to consolidate. So rather than focusing on covering the things, focus on the what? Consolidating the things. अरे भैया जीतू जीत साहब दे तो दिया कर्व का पीडीएफ. विच कर्व पीडीएफ यू वांट? All the PDF of related to curve I have already given. What you have messaged me, all the PDF I have already provided, right? There is no other PDF of the curve. Annotation of ISLM curve, I have given the annotation. All the curve related to what? Elasticity I have already given. What other curve you have mentioned in the message? No other curve you have mentioned. I already send it to what? Telegram channel, sorry, on mail. You should ask Ashok ji, he will forward it to you. I already sent it. And few days back. Okay. This is one question. This is one question. I hope you are able to see this question on the screen. Then you should message to Ashok ji. I have already sent it. And maybe he's not well right now. Do one thing. Drop your email ID to me, Mr. Jeet. Drop your email ID to me because he is not well, so I don't want to disturb him right now. So do one thing. Just drop your email ID. I will send it to you. So you can see this question. What should be the strategy for the descriptive part at present, daily or weekly? I have started daily questions. In between the continuity was break, but again from today continuity will be there. So you can go for one question daily basis. Okay. So this is the question you are. I think you are able to see. I can discuss this question right now, but I'm not going to discuss this question right now. I will request you, you should try, right? I will discuss it tomorrow and you can go for self assessment, right? But at least you can try what are the key differences between the foreign direct investment and portfolio investment. Question is little bit long, but it's simple question. It's little bit long, but it is a simple question and you can easily attempt it, right? It's not very kind of difficult question. You can attempt it. So both are the same question, right? Kind of same question. You can attempt it, and if you have attempted, so without any hesitation, send it to me, right? Maybe I have not evaluated till then any of your answer right now, but please send it to me. I will check, and if possible, I will do for it, right? So you should do your work. At least it is going to pressurize me to do my work. So that's why I'm saying that you can attempt and you can send me. Don't be discouraged कि I am not replying or not checking your copy. Don't be discouraged. I will definitely do that thing. But at least you can try, right? Try this answer, and after writing this answer, send it to me. Yes, yes. PDF was only national income. PDF was shared. Yes. Word limit 400. Word limit is 400. Okay, so I already explained the direct investment, portfolio investment. Try to get that answer, though I already have the model answer for you. Okay, I have already model answer for you, but you should not get it right now. Those who are going to submit to me, only for those people I am going to send it right now. Later on, I will share. Later on, I will share this question. But for right now, for your practice, those people who want to attempt, please attempt this question, right? Sir, will you briefly describe the advantages of FDI and FPI? Here nothing is like brief. If I will explain, you will get the thing. This is what I want from you. You should try. Take the help of any material or source. It's not an issue. You can take the help. This is the area where I want to what? You should go for some effort. This is the only area where you have to make certain effort to find it out what are the advantages and disadvantages of FDI and FPI. So this is why I'm giving you this question. If you are not able to find, not able to do, then I am also going to provide you the model answer. So no need to worry. But at least you should try. Try ki what are the advantages and disadvantages. सर आई हैड अ प्रैक्टिस कुछ छूट ना जाए इसलिए कुछ टॉपिक को ज़्यादा ही डिटेल में चला जाता हूँ. हाउ टू कंसोलिडेट to study from more important topic. I'll take this question in a Zoom session. Probably you are going to have a Zoom session tomorrow. Tomorrow around 6:30 or 7, I will have a Zoom session. Just give me a question. Just give me a second. I will share this question to you on the chat session. On this chat session. Have you got this question? Okay, I'll share that question on the Telegram. Don't worry. So I have shared this question on the Telegram. Okay. So rest of the thing I will do tomorrow. Okay. Sir, can anyone send please, sir, like government schemes? I'm following vision, which is bulky. What shall I do? I will discuss tomorrow. Means in the Zoom session, I will discuss all these things. You can raise all the questions in the Zoom session. I will discuss in the Zoom session. Okay. For Zoom, I will send you the details for all live people. Okay then. Good night.